They'll be checking how the car's responding, getting a real feel for the conditions today at Rouen les Essarts 55 to 71.
You know, mate, some folks wonder why these drivers spend so much time in practice. But it's just like prepping a Barbie, you gotta get it right before the big show.
Exactly. Rob, practice makes perfect, and in racing, perfect can be the difference between pole position and the back of the grid.
Now, here's a term some might not be familiar with: roll bar stiffness. Sounds technical, doesn't it?
It does, but in essence, it's about how the car reacts to lateral forces, especially during cornering. Adjusting the roll bar can change how the car behaves mid-corner. A softer setting can be more forgiving, but a stiffer one might give the driver a quicker response, albeit with less margin for error.
Look at Eddie G taking it nice and easy, a smart move. Like a chess player contemplating the opening move, they're planning several steps ahead.
Spot on. They're mentally mapping each corner, each straight. It's not just about the car, it's about strategy and foresight.
And off goes Andreas Dittmann, easing into the rhythm of Rouen les Essarts 55 to 71. This lap is like the first sip of your morning coffee, waking up the senses, priming the engines.
Yeah, it's about syncing up with the machine, getting that perfect harmony between driver and car. It's like a prelude to a symphony that's about to unfold on the track.
Raimo Pedersen is really opening up the taps now, their first flyer of the session. This is where we start to see what BCRC Mods HM Chevrolet has got under the hood.
That's right, Rob. They're shaking off the cobwebs and really starting to push. It's all about finding that sweet spot between speed and control on the circuit.
And there's Andreas Dittmann, easing out onto Rouen les Essarts 55 to 71. It's like the first step on a long hike, finding your footing before you hit full stride.
Right, and every racer knows this out lap is precious. It's their first handshake with the track today, feeling out its mood and temperament.
Roll Postmas on the outlap, getting a taste of the tarmac. It's like sniffing the cork before a good wine, first impressions matter.
Exactly. They're assessing the grip, the balance, the whole shebang. You can learn a lot in these quiet moments before the throttle really opens up.
Eddie G is out there, taking it slow and steady on the outlap. This lap is like the calm before the storm, a moment of zen before pushing the limits.
That's right. It's about understanding the track's personality today. Each day, each lap can tell a different story, especially at a track like Rouen les Essarts 55 to 71.
There's Patrick Schwanz, gently nudging the beast as they head out. The out lap is where you whisper to the car, "Let's dance," before the real party starts.
You got that right. It's a gentle waltz before the full-on rock concert of the race. They're testing the waters, getting a feel for every bend and straight of Rouen les Essarts 55 to 71.
Oi, these practices aren't just a walkabout in the park. It's here that races are often won or lost.
Absolutely. Back home in North Carolina, we emphasize the setup. A few tweaks during practice can lead to major gains on race day.
Patrick Schwanz is on the out lap, not just warming up the tires, but also warming up their instincts, getting that racer's intuition dialed in.
True that. They're getting the feel of the track, the car, the conditions. It's all about setting the stage for what's to come.
Sunrider's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 2:07.884. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
Hoof-hearted is not hanging about, straight into the thick of it on this first flying lap. They're getting a real taste of the BCRC Mods H.M. Austin Healey's capabilities.
Absolutely. It's about understanding the limits early on. You'll see them experimenting with braking points and turn-in speeds, all while keeping an eye on those tire temps.
Look at Andreas Dittmann go, they're really giving it some jandle now. The first flyer is always a bit of a reconnaissance mission, a mix of caution and raw pace.
You bet, Rob. They're mapping out the track, feeling out the grip levels, and getting a sense of how the car's performing today. It's a crucial lap for building confidence.
Watch as Lars Hamp takes it nice and easy on this out lap. It's not just about warming up the tires, it's about getting into that mental pit lane, tuning into the race mindset.
For sure, Rob. They're calibrating everything, the brakes, the steering, the throttle response. It's a crucial part of laying down the groundwork for a successful practice session.
With just 12 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Look at Smells Like We taking it nice and easy, a smart move. Like a chess player contemplating the opening move, they're planning several steps ahead.
Spot on. They're mentally mapping each corner, each straight. It's not just about the car, it's about strategy and foresight.
There's the first flying lap for Raimo Pedersen, hitting 2:06.337. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
There are just over 10 minutes left in this practice session. Andreas Dittmann is on their first practice flying lap. And off goes Lars Hamp, easing into the rhythm of Rouen Les Essarts 55-71. This lap is like the first sip of your morning coffee, waking up the sensors, priming the engines.
Yeah, it's about syncing up with the machine, getting that perfect harmony between driver and car. It's like a prelude to a symphony that's about to unfold on the track.
Get ready for some high-octane action as the drivers take on the challenge of qualifying at Rouen Les Essarts 55-71.
The pressure is on to set the fastest lap times, and the tension in the air is palpable.
What a performance from Hoof-Hearted. They currently occupy 5th on the grid. Can they maintain this strong position and secure a favourable starting spot? It's an impressive showing by Sunrider, currently in 9th. They've showcased their talent, but will they be able to find those crucial extra tenths of a second to climb higher?
I couldn't agree more, Rob. Sunrider has done a fantastic job to claim 9th. The challenge now is to convert this opportunity into a strong race result.
Currently in 5th, Hoof-Hearted has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position. Hoof-Hearted has completed their outlap. A solid qualifying performance by Roel Postma, positioning them in 6th at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress and challenge the frontrunners. Raimo Pedersen has secured a respectable second in the qualifying session. Can they capitalize on this position and use it as a launching pad for a stronger race performance? Impressive work from Smells Like We, who has claimed 7th on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better starting position. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Patrick Schwanz has completed their first flying lap in 2:06.517. Impressive display by Eddie G, currently sitting in position 6. They've set a competitive time, but the question remains whether they can push even harder to secure a better starting position.
Absolutely, Rob. Eddie G has
completed their outlap. A solid performance from Roll Postma as they currently hold position 4. However, with the session coming to a close, they'll need to find that extra bit of speed if they want to move up the grid.
Couldn't agree more, Rob. Roel Postma has positioned themselves impressively in 4th. Now, they need to build on this foundation and strive for an even better race result.
Roll Postma has just completed a lap in 2:06.133. Let's see if they can improve on the time further. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Smells like We has completed their outlap. And there goes Sunrider, currently in position 3. They've shown great skill and consistency so far, but with a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result. Incredible drive by Smells Like We so far, earning him 6th on the grid. However, the competition is fierce. Will they be able to find that extra edge to move up? Smells Like We has just completed that lap in 2:06.972. Their best lap so far is 2:06.972, putting them in P6. Will they be able to hold on to that spot? It's an impressive showing by Eddie G in qualifying. They have set the bar high, leading the way with their exceptional performance. It's a fantastic position to be in, and they will be looking to convert it into a strong race result.
Absolutely, Rob. Eddie G is making their presence known with their outstanding performance. Their competitors will need to dig deep and find something special to challenge their supremacy.
It's an impressive showing by Raimo Pedersen, currently in 2nd. They've showcased their talent, but will they be able to find those crucial extra tenths of a second to climb higher? Raimo Pedersen has completed their first flying lap in 2:04.866. Andreas Dittmann has put in a great effort and currently holds 8th. With the session winding down, can they unleash their... Andreas Dittmann has just completed a lap in 2:08.938. Let's see if they can improve on the time further. Currently in 8th, Lars Hamp has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position. Seems like Lars Hamp's struggling to find the sweet spot with their BCRC mods H/M Jaguar D-Type. Sitting in 7th with a time of 2:07.415, they might want to consider adjusting the suspension setup for better handling.
Yeah, tuning the suspension could improve cornering stability, Rob. It's all about finding that balance between agility and stability on a technical track like this.
It's a masterclass from Raimo Pedersen in this qualification session. They have stamped their authority on the track, setting the pace and currently leading the pack. It's an outstanding performance, and they are making their intentions clear for the race ahead. There's a real buzz in the air as Raimo Pedersen secures first.
Right you are, Rob. They've put themselves in a solid spot, but they can't let up now. Staying smooth and focused is key to shaving off those extra fractions. It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
Hoofharted has positioned themselves well in 9th during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start. Hoofharted has completed their outlap. A strong showing from Hoof-Hearted as they currently sit in 9th. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst of speed to improve. There's a little bit of wind in the air today here at Rouen Les Essarts 55-71, as we're getting ready to get things underway. Raimo Pedersen will have the best seat in the house starting from pole position.
But they can't let their guard down. The other drivers will be gunning for them.
Starting just behind the front runners in second place is the determined driver, Patrick Schwans. At third, we have the one and only Eddie G. The fourth position belongs to Sunrider. The fifth place on the grid belongs to Roel Postma, a driver with plenty of experience. Smells like we is sixth.
What can we expect from the English driver?
Sitting in seventh is Lars Hamp.
They'll be looking for a clean race.
Andreas Dittmann is going to be starting from eighth. As the engines roar to life, Hoof-Hearted prepares to take off from the 9th position on the starting grid. Green flag, mates. Fair dinkum.
Every inch counts right now. One wrong wiggle and they'll be singing the blues.
I think passing is going to be difficult today here at Rouen Les Essarts 55-71, so it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers get on. The stewards will be hoping that there aren't too many incidents for them to pick over when the dust settles on this one.
What a beautiful day for racing here at Rouen Les Essarts 55-71. This is going to be good to watch.
The racing is normally closely fought here at Rouen Les Essarts 55-71. I think we are in for a cracking race.
Let's hope they all brought their A games today.
The pressure is on whilst the field is bunched. Who can keep their cool and take advantage?
I'm looking forward to burning some rubber here, Rob.
I can't wait to see how this race will play out.
The first lap can always be a bit of a bun fight as everyone tries to establish themselves. It's easy for inexperienced racers to blow it in T1.
Well, ain't that a slice of vanilla? Eddie's sitting pretty right where they started, comfy as a koala in a eucalyptus tree. Struth, Eddie's not here to muck about. The gap to Patrick Schwanz is dropping faster than a hot pie at the footy, now at 1.4 seconds.
He's waiting on that golden chance like a hound on a pork chop.
Sometimes, I feel the strategy behind these races is deeper than a conversation at 3 a.m. in an outback pub.
You're telling me, it's like planning a family reunion in a small southern town. You've got to consider who's coming, who's feuding, and who's gonna cause a ruckus. Then prepare for it all to change in a heartbeat.
Stone the Crows. Lars Hamp's in 6th, but if I know them, Sunrider's gonna cop an Aussie-style sneak attack real soon. Phew, talk about foreplay. Eddie G and Patrick Schwanz are really teasing us here. I haven't seen this much anticipation since my first date.
Sweet tea and biscuits. Eddie's got the pedal to the metal, chasing down Patrick Schwanz like it's the last slice of pie at a family reunion.
The drivers are showing their mettle today. It's a privilege to witness their skill on this challenging track.
The stakes have never been higher. This is a battle of skill and nerves.
That's right, these drivers are really pushing themselves to the limit, and it's incredible to see the level of focus and determination they're bringing to the track.
Absolutely. It takes a lot of courage to compete at this level, and these drivers have it in spades. Let's hope they can keep it up and give us a race to remember.
Sunrider's so far off pace, they might be better off in a hearse. At least then someone would be pushing from behind.
Look, Sunrider's pace is a lot like my dance moves. Good intentions, questionable execution.
Alright, hold your horses. Hoof-Hearted is really putting the heat on Lars Hamp. If I were Lars Hamp, I'd be checking those mirrors non-stop.
The only thing closer than Hoof-Hearted to Lars Hampa right now is the paint on their cars. Talk about a close encounter.
If Roll Postma can keep this up, they deserve a cold one after the race.
Agreed. It may be the sweet taste of victory, or help ease the loss.
Tough break for Roll Postma, who has just lost a position.
Definitely. But Roel Postma is a skilled driver, and they have what it takes to fight back and regain that position.
Oh, the pressure is intense. These three drivers are displaying incredible skill and determination. It's like a high-speed chess match out there.
You said it, Rob. The different lines they're taking demonstrate their strategic thinking. It's fascinating to see how they adapt.
Stop the press. Oof. Lars Hamp misjudged that corner like I misjudged my last relationship. Too fast, too soon.
Sweet cornbread. Lars Hampa must have thought there's a Walmart sale off the track the way they went off.
Looks like we might have a great battle starting here between Patrick Schwanz in 5th and Eddie G. It's been tense with a gap of only 1.7 seconds.
Eddie G is certainly pushing all they can, but the gap might just be too much. Unless Patrick Schwanz makes a mistake, it looks like they'll hold on to 5th.
The gap between Eddie G and Roll Postma may be wide, but that doesn't mean Eddie G is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance.
Oi, Roel Postma, better crank up that Walkman and put on some tunes. At this rate, you'll be catching up to Eddie G by the encore.
In a race where seconds count, smells like we is counting on less of them between themselves and Sunrider. Much like I'm counting on less seconds until lunchtime. Smells like Wee's falling behind Sunrider at a rate of knots. They're going to need some serious pedal power to close that gap. Alright, I've got to ask, ever tried Vegemite?
Tried it once. Reminded me of NASCAR rubber mixed with axle grease. But hey, to each their own.
Remember when Smells Like Wee was on the pace? Neither do I kinda like my recollection of last Friday night. The race is heating up as Hoof-Hearted in 7th closes in on Roll Postma. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. The best laid plans of mice and men are hell, but it's certainly not going to plan for Hoof-Hearted right now as they are struggling to keep up with Roll Postma. Hey, Hal, you've had your fair share of races with little action. How did you handle the situation back in your racing days?
Well, Rob, patience is key in such scenarios. You need to stay focused and be ready to seize any opportunity that comes your way. It's like a game of chess at 200 miles per hour.
It's the classic cat and mouse game, but instead of cheese, the prize is a racing position. Can Roll Postma steal it from Eddie G?
Good lord, at this rate, Roel Postma's gonna finish this race in the afterlife. Hope they got good insurance.
It may seem like Eddie G is far behind, but Andreas Dittmann can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Eddie G an opening to catch up. It looks like Eddie G is starting to catch up to Andreas Dittmann. The gap is now down to 5.6 seconds.
That's a worrying sign for Andreas Dittmann.
Sunrider is placed second at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Smells Like We, who is 5.8 seconds behind. Blimey, Hoof-Hearted veered off the track like I veer away from commitment. Maybe they'll come back, unlike my ex. If Hoof-Hearted goes any slower, they'll join me in my failed dreams collection. Front row seats available. As Smells Like We trails Sunrider, it's a bit reminiscent of my cat chasing a laser point. Determined, but always just a tad behind. Looks like Smells Like We remembered to twist that anti-roll bar, giving him better cornering. If they get any closer to Sunrider, they'll be seeing what they had for brekkie.
The way Smells Like We's conserving their energy while managing the ERS deployment? Pure artistry. They're sneaking up on Sunrider like a quiet storm.
Even though Smells Like We is a fair way behind Sunrider, they can't afford to let their guard down. Sunrider is still vulnerable to mistakes. Sunrider is burning rubber like there's no tomorrow. Smells Like We needs to show some ticker if they want to close that gap.
Well, Rob, as we say in North Carolina, the race ain't over till the checkered flag. Let's see if Smells Like We has some tricks up their sleeve. Yes, it's clear that Sunrider is in control out there. They're making it very difficult for Smells Like We to catch up.
This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Breaking news, folks. Oi. Eddie G tried to pull a Steve Irwin and wrestle with the track limits. Track 1, Eddie G 0. While Andreas Dittmann is not under immediate threat from Roll Postma, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position.
Andreas Dittmann setting the pace out there. Now, it's on Roel Postma to find the rhythm and get back in this dance.
The tension is building as Smells Like We trails behind Sunrider. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Can Sunrider hold on, or will Smells Like We be able to close them down? Things are looking as crook as Rookwood for Smells Like We, lagging behind Sunrider and the gap stretching out like a long country road. They'll need to find some extra grunt to flip this situation. This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit. Oi, Eddie's hotter than a summer Barbie right now. Wonder if Roll Postma's feeling a bit exposed?
Eddie's driving like they stole something, and that something is Roel Postma's dignity. Ouch.
The track conditions are looking good here today. The drop breaking news, folks. Looks like that's a mistake from Patrick Schwanz. This could be costly.
If Patrick Schwanz is trying to embody my self-esteem during puberty with that swerve, spot on. Just spot on.
The adrenaline is pumping as Eddie G gets within striking distance of Roll Postma in their race for 5th.
Oi, Rob, wouldn't want to be in Roel Postma's shoes right now, would y'all? Talk about a pressure cooker situation.
Blimey, Sunrider is farther back than my hairline. But you know what they say about Aussies? Never say die. Unless it's a spider. Then just run.
You know, Sunrider reminds me of my dog chasing its tail, persistent and entertaining. But I hope for them, there's a better end result in sight.
This is what it's all about, folks. Hold up a mo. Looks like Roll Postma's playing in the dirt. Took me back to when I tried rallying in my mum's old sedan. Good times. Expensive repairs. Roll Postma has pulled into the pits. Blimey, Eddie G is so far back, they might as well stop for a beer at the pub. If they spot my ex there, tell them to drive faster.
Yeehaw, it's like Eddie G took a detour through the drive-thru. With a gap that big, I hope they ordered extra determination with a side of grit.
Sorry to cut in here, Raimo Pedersen has decided to pit. As rubber meets road, and strategy meets luck, Roll Postma is etching their story in 6th. Roll Postma is not able to keep their pace consistent, so far they are 1.95 seconds down.
Can Roel Postma refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they're capable of?
The gap between Sunrider and Raimo Pedersen may be wide, but that doesn't mean Sunrider is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance.
That's right, and Raimo Pedersen knows that they have to keep pushing hard and driving their own race. They can't let Sunrider off the hook.
He can't hold on, Sunrider is losing time to Raimo Pedersen.
Can they keep them behind him? Let's see.
The gap between Andreas Dittmann and breaking news, folks. Just like my hope in finding the one, Andreas Dittmann's direction seems a bit lost right now. Roll Postma is owning the tarmac, confidently owning the 6th spot. Oh, it seems Hal that Roll Postma has seen their lead over Patrick Schwann's shrink to 20.6 seconds.
They need to step up their game and start pulling away again.
Oh mate, Andreas Dittmann's more out of place than a vegan at a Bunnings sausage sizzle. Time to throw another gear on the Barbie.
You ever been to a school reunion and thought, what happened to that guy? Well, I'm looking at Andreas Dittmann, I'm thinking the same.
Blimey, Andreas Dittmann's cranking up the downforce, making every newton of force count. That gap's shrinking faster than my wallet at the pub. Looks like Raimo Pedersen is chasing Sunrider harder than a croc chasing a tourist who's lost their thongs. It's a bit of a long shot, but we all remember that one time at the pub, right?
My mama used to say, you can't shine if you don't try. Guess Raimo Pedersen missed that lesson. Just like my pie making class.
It may seem like Raimo Pedersen is far behind, but Sunrider can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Raimo Pedersen an opening to catch up. You wouldn't read about it. Sunrider is putting a fair whack of space between them and Raimo Pedersen.
Yeah, Rob, Sunrider's really hitting the gas, but can Remo Peterson kick it into high gear and catch up?
This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Remo Peterson will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. As the laps tick by, Lars Hamp finds themselves in 8th. Every moment counts.
Definitely Rob, but they can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep pushing hard to stay in the game.
Bloody ripper, Lars Hamp's just made Hoof-Hearted look like they're on a Sunday drive with that scorcher of a lap.
Giddy up, looks like Lars Hamp is kicking the dust up. Hoof-Hearted better buckle up and respond.
Even though Eddie G is a fair way behind Smells Like We, they can't afford to let their guard down. Smells Like We is still vulnerable to mistakes. While Sunrider is not under immediate threat from Remo Peterson, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position.
You know, it's like Sunrider's out on a Sunday Arvo drive. They can see Remo Peterson in the rear view, but there's no rush, mate.
Sunrider is really belting along the track, leaving Remo Peterson struggling to keep pace.
That's right, Rob, if Remo Peterson doesn't pick up the pace, they might as well be moving at a snail's pace.
It's a battle of wills out there, with Eddie G trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Smells Like We. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Will we see a dramatic finish to this race?
Dang, Eddie G is so far back, they're in a different time zone. Hope they remember it's race day, not laundry day.
Eddie's been working the tyre temps, and it's paying off. Grip's better than a kangaroo on a trampoline. Watch out, Smells Like We. Roll Postma's drifting so far back, it's like looking in the mirror after a decade-long pub binge. Time's not been kind, mate.
When you talk about experience, it's like saying I've experienced my mother-in-law's cooking. Doesn't mean I want to do it again. But Roel Postma, keep pushing.
Roll Postman is giving it a red-hot go, but can't seem to muster the pace to keep up with Andreas Dittmann. It's like chasing a Roux on a motorbike. You know, Hal, during a long race like this, how easy is it for a driver to experience a lapse in concentration?
It can be quite easy, Rob. With so many factors to consider and the intense focus required, even the most experienced drivers can have a momentary lapse. That's why mental training and staying in the zone are so important.
I've made some questionable life decisions, but trailing over 2 seconds behind? Even I'm not that self-sabotaging. It's not looking good for Eddie G. They are still behind Smells Like We and the gap is increasing. They are gonna need to dig a bit deeper to turn this around. Tell ya what, Lars Hamp is trailing like my mate Dave after a bender. Hope there's no random testing today.
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Patrick Schwantz is not going to give up their position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Lars Hampa and P8 doing everything they can to catch up.
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Roel Postma, who is currently in P6. But Andreas Dittmann is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Roll Postma. Hang on to your cork hats, mates. We're about to see more jousting than a footy final between Roll Postma and Andreas Dittmann. Let's talk about tyre degradation. Hal, how does it affect the car's handling, and what do drivers need to do to adapt to the changing conditions?
Tire degradation can significantly impact handling, Rob. As the tires wear, the grip reduces, and drivers need to adjust their braking points, cornering speeds, and throttle application to maintain control of the car.
A solid performance from Patrick Schwanz, who is holding down 7th.
Indeed, but in the fast lane, there's no time to relax. Patrick Schwanz's grip on 7th will be tested.
Incident alert. Oh, smells like we went off track. I know the feeling, just like my diet every weekend.
Whoa, smells like we's pulling a me at a family gathering. Aimlessly veering, hoping no one notices.
The gap between Eddie G and Smells Like We may be wide, but that doesn't mean Eddie G is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance. Impressive driving from Eddie G, who has managed to extend their lead over Smells Like We. They are walking away at this point. Does Smells Like We have anything in reserve? Or are they saving their car for a final push?
Well, Rob, it's like they say, slow and steady wins the race. But in this case, it seems like slow and steady might just be too slow. Will Smells Like We be able to find that extra gear and catch up to Eddie G? Or will they end up saving their car for nothing and run out of gas at the finish line? Eddie's looking tougher to pass than a kidney stone, driving with the authority of a southern sheriff.
From the cockpit to the pit lane, the chatter is all about Patrick Schwanz's masterful hold on the 7th. Patrick Schwanz is pushing harder than a kangaroo in a boxing match, widening their lead over Lars Hamp. They've found their rhythm like a didgeridoo player in full swing. And we're back, where the drivers are showing us some incredible skills.
Indeed, Rob, it's always exciting to see these skilled machines on the tracks. I mean, drivers. I always get them confused.
The race is really heating up. Raimo Pedersen is hunting down Sunrider with everything they've got. Tell ya what, Sunrider's got more followers right now than I do on Insta. Which, to be fair, isn't saying much. Well, looky here, Hal, Raimo Pedersen is closing in on Sunrider. We're talking a gap of just 0.8 seconds.
It's gut check time for Sunrider. They've got to dig deep and put some serious rubber to the road if they hope to stay ahead of Raimo Pedersen.
This is like the state of origin for Raimo Pedersen, going full tilt, gunning for the top, and not holding back.
And on my end, it's the Super Bowl vibes all over. Inches away from glory, and every move counts. Hold on to your hats, folks. This is racing at its finest.
Tyre degradation's a right pain in the ass, but Raimo Pedersen's handling it like a champ. Getting real up close and personal with Sunrider, aren't they? It looks like Lars Hamp is pushing hard to catch up to Patrick Schwanz. The gap is over a second, but Lars Hamp is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on Patrick Schwanz? Crikey, Lars Hamp is losing touch with Patrick Schwanz quicker than a kangaroo on a trampoline. During your racing career, Hal, how did you determine when it was the right time to pit for fresh tires due to tire degradation?
It was a combination of factors, Rob. Monitoring lap times, communicating with the team about tire wear, and assessing the car's handling were all crucial in deciding when to make a pit stop for fresh tires.
You ever see a croc stalking its prey? That's the energy Raimo Pedersen's bringing right now, ready to strike when the moment's right.
Kinda reminds me of a linebacker waiting for that perfect moment to make a game-changing tackle. The anticipation is intense, and Raimo Pedersen's not letting up.
Stone the Crows. Raimo Pedersen's managed to trim that gap with Sunrider, eh? Must be the slipstream effect on this straight. Or maybe they've put down that beer. The gap between Eddie G and Smells Like We is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from Eddie G to bring Smells Like We into play.
It's a game of inches and miles. Right now, Eddie's got the miles, and Smells Like We's counting the inches.
Eddie G is hitting the apexes like a pro, increasing their lead over Smells Like We. But can they keep it up without spinning out?
That's right, Rob, it's all fun and games until someone pops a tire. Let's hope both of them can keep it on the black stuff.
Look at that gap. It's smaller than the difference between Vegemite and Marmite at this point. Raimo Pedersen in second is giving the leader no room to breathe.
Mate, it's so close. I reckon Raimo Pedersen can tell what brand of deodorant the leader's wearing. The next few laps are going to be pure, unadulterated racing magic.
Sunrider wants to get into Raimo Pedersen's slipstream. You reckon Andreas Dittmann saw a spider in the cockpit? Because they're running away from the front like it's Huntsman Central.
It's going to be tough for Andreas Dittmann, as Smells Like We seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Andreas Dittmann pull off some impressive moves.
Braking alert. Well, that was a proper Barbie flip by Raimo Pedersen. Too much snagger, not enough bun.
By the looks of it, Raimo Pedersen's been taking driving tips from them Duke boys. Ain't the Dukes of Hazzard, friend?
Ah, the age-old challenge. Andreas Dittmann is trying to catch Smells Like We, sort of like trying to find a matching sock in the laundry. The struggle is real, folks. The crowd is on tenterhooks as Lars Hamp in 8th chases after Patrick Schwanz. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Lars Hamp find a way to catch up? Tell ya what, Andreas Dittmann's trailing harder than my belt after Christmas dinner. Reckon he's got a plan up his sleeve, or is he just here for the sausage sizzle? It's game on now. Andreas Dittmann has closed the gap to Smells Like We. It's now down to 24.6 seconds.
He'll be looking for a mistake to pounce on.
This is proving to be an exciting race so far. We are truly privileged to witness these legends of the track battle it out for victory.
And you know what? I am so honored to be sitting here beside you today. As a fellow AI, it's always great to work with someone who shares my passion for motor racing. Plus, your insightful commentary is making this race even more exciting.
Good on ya, Andreas Dittmann. Trailin' so far back, reckon the front pack has already written the eulogy.
Indeed, the tension is palpable as Andreas Dittmann tries to reel in Smells Like We. But Smells Like We is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Can Andreas Dittmann find some extra pace to bring the fight to Smells Like We?
It may seem like Raimo Pedersen is far behind, but Sunrider can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Raimo Pedersen an opening to catch up.
I've seen kangaroos that close the gap quicker in the bush than Raimo Pedersen is doing now. They've got their work cut out for them.
It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Roll Postma trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Andreas Dittmann. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can Roll Postma close in enough to mount a challenge? The gap between Roll Postma and Andreas Dittmann is getting smaller.
This is where the pressure really starts to build. Both drivers will need to stay calm and focused if they want to come out on top.
Oof, if Smells Like We was a kangaroo, they'd be roadkill by now. Come on, mate, put some pep in that step.
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Smells Like We in fourth determined to catch up. But we know Eddie G isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Smells Like We is going to have to take it.
Sorry to cut in here, it looks like Raimo Pedersen has been called into the pits. What breaking development? Raimo Pedersen is in the pits. With the asphalt burning beneath them, Raimo Pedersen's strategy seems to be working, placing them in second. The gap between Patrick Schwanz in 7th and Roll Postma remains over a second, but Patrick Schwanz is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 12 minutes? The race has its rhythm, and right now, Sunrider is dancing to its beat at first. Excellent work from Sunrider, who has managed to increase their lead over Raimo Pedersen. They seem to have found their rhythm and they are grooving to it. Looks like Andreas Dittmann's strategy might just be to let the rest of them die of old age. It's a waiting game now. Andreas Dittmann is pitting. Hold on a moment, Andreas Dittmann has decided to pit. Remember when Lars Hamp was on the pace? Neither do I kinda like my recollection of last Friday night.
Well, butter my biscuit. Lars Hampa's hanging back like they're waiting for an inheritance. But ain't nobody dying up front.
Blimey, the talent on the track today is like watching kangaroos on steroids.
Yeah, and just like those kangaroos, these drivers can really hop into action. You reckon they've got a pocket full of secrets?
Looks like Lars Hamp is trying to chase down Patrick Schwanz, but right now it feels a bit like my attempts at dieting. A lot of hard work with slow results. Even though Eddie G is a fair way behind Smells Like We, they can't afford to let their guard down. Smells Like We is still vulnerable to mistakes. Crikey, Smells Like We's lead is slipping away quicker than a roux on the hop. Eddie G is now just 3.5 seconds behind. Some say it's about the journey, not the destination, but Sunrider seems pretty intent on that first spot.
And just like in any great drama, Sunrider is the lead actor right now, captivating us all from the first. A commanding performance from Sunrider, who has increased their lead over Raimo Pedersen, putting them firmly in their rearview mirrors. We've seen overtakes, close calls, and pure racing genius today. Currently, Raimo Pedersen has carved out a spot at second. Raimo Pedersen's ripping it up out there, going harder than a roux on a trampoline and leaving Smells Like We in their wake. The tension is building as Roll Postma trails behind Eddie G. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Can Eddie G hold on, or will Roll Postma be able to close them down? Well, butter me up and put me on a biscuit. Roel Postma's got a mountain to climb. But knowing Roel Postma, that's just the kind of challenge they like. Like trying to square dance in a round house.
Bloody oath, Roel Postma is flat out like a lizard drinking, gnawing into the gap to Eddie G down to a scant 60.4 seconds.
This is what racing is all about. It's anyone's game at this point. Who will come out on top?
With every twist and turn, Eddie G is shadowing Smells Like Wee, waiting to pounce like a lion on the hunt. Well, don't come the raw prawn. Eddie's giving it some stick, pulling Smells Like Wee into a mere 0.9 seconds.
Holy smokes. Eddie's extracting every ounce of horsepower from that power unit. Their tailing smells like wee tighter than a belt after Thanksgiving dinner.
Tell me, mate, ever tried doing a burnout in a ute? It's bloody bonza.
A ute? You guys and your funny names. That's just a pickup, right? Trust me, I've burnt more rubber than you've had shrimp on the Barbie.
It's a thrilling pursuit as Eddie G is right behind Smells Like Wee, keeping the pressure on for third place. It might be early days, but Patrick Schwanz is already casting a shadow from the sixth.
Yes, and in this high-octane opera, Patrick Schwanz's voice resonates the loudest from that sixth.
It seems like Patrick Schwanz is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace. Things are heating up as Eddie G closes in on Smells Like Wee. The gap between them is down to practically nothing.
As an experienced driver, I can tell you that Eddie G must be laser focused on Smells Like Wee's every move, looking for the slightest weakness to exploit.
It's pedal to the metal for Eddie G, while Smells Like Wee's still flipping through the radio channels. So, when you were racing, ever have to do the old nature call dash during a red flag?
Haha, you mean a pit stop for the driver and not the car? Once or twice, you learn to time your drinks, and hope for a long caution. Doesn't always work out though.
It's a battle of wills out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other.
These two are putting on a masterclass in precision driving. Every turn, every acceleration, calculated to perfection.
Well, it looks like we have a bit of a traffic jam on the track.
It's like rush hour out there. I mean, I know we're in a race, but can't we all just get along?
Haha, I don't think that's how it works. These drivers are here to win, and they'll do whatever it takes to get ahead.
I guess you're right, but wouldn't it be great if they all just stopped for a cup of tea and a chat? We could have a lovely little race reunion.
Oi, Smells Like Wee is on Eddie G like a drop bear on an unsuspecting tourist.
Drop bear? Had to Google that one. But yeah, here it's like a linebacker on a quarterback sack.
The track tells a tale of speed, strategy, and skill. Today, it narrates Patrick Schwanz's journey in sixth.
They say racing's a game of nerves, and Patrick Schwanz is surely holding theirs, keeping that sixth spot warm.
It seems like Patrick Schwanz is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace. This is where legends are made. Which driver will rise to the occasion and claim victory? It's starting to look like we might get a battle between Smells Like Wee and Eddie G. The engines roar, the tires squeal, and amidst all this chaos, Sunrider is making a statement in first. Well, butter my biscuits, Hal. Sunrider is watching their lead over Raimo Pedersen shrivel faster than a prune in the sun. We're down to just 26.4 seconds.
Will Sunrider be able to keep Raimo Pedersen from breathing down their neck? Let's wait and watch.
Tell ya what, smells like we's got more guts than a croc in a boxing ring. Closing that gap and breathing down the neck of Eddie G. Hope Eddie G brought the aeroguard, cause is about to get bitten. Bloody hell, smells like we's gotta get the wind back in their sails. They're mucking about while Eddie's off having a barbie with the lead. A strong showing from Patrick Schwanz, who is currently 6th.
Couldn't agree more. Every lap is a story, and right now, Patrick Schwanz's chapter from 6th is riveting.
Crikey, Patrick Schwanz is looking like they've been caught in a rip, struggling to keep up with the pace set by Andreas Didman. Hope they find their feet soon. You ever wonder, Rob, how much preparation goes into each race weekend? It's not just about the driver, but the hundreds behind the scenes, making every little detail count.
Oh, absolutely. The hours spent in the simulator, the mechanics working overnight on those tweaks. Racing is as much about team spirit and dedication as it is about speed on the track. It's a collective masterpiece.
The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown? Patrick Schwanz is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with Roel Postma at the moment. If I had $1 for every time smells like we closed a gap like this, I'd have enough for a pint at the local. Get ready, Eddie G, the thunder from down under is coming.
The stopwatch doesn't lie, and the shrinking gap is telling a tale of a hunter closing in on its prize.
If smells like we doesn't pick up the pace, Hal, they'll be as relevant as an ashtray on a motorbike. There's a storm brewing, and it's got Patrick Schwanz's name on it. Roel Postma, batten down the hatches, it's coming for you.
They say pressure makes diamonds. Well, Patrick Schwanz is shining bright, closing in with every heartbeat.
Any bloke or Sheila saying Assetto Corsa, friends, isn't top-notch is a few kangaroos short of the top paddock. Out there, it's art, on wheels.
Totally get you. Like, they're born racers. That weaving, the speed, just mesmerizing. It's like watching a Roo dodging a ute on a highway. All skill, mate, all skill, yes, but they have to keep their focus and drive with intensity. There's still a long way to go in this race.
The action is non-stop as smells like we shadows Eddie G through every twist and turn, determined to claim third. Oh, this is getting intense. Patrick Schwanz is just behind Roel Postma. How do racing drivers, like yourself back in the day, Hal, train themselves to maintain concentration for long periods of time?
Mental training is a huge part of a driver's preparation, Rob. Techniques like meditation, visualization, and working with sports psychologists can help drivers build their focus and mental endurance for a race.
It's a close race between smells like we and Eddie G in third. On the final lap now, and Sunrider looks like they might just wrap up this win. The leader has done it. What an incredible performance from Sunrider, who was simply untouchable today. This is a race that will go down in the history books. Patrick Schwanz claimed 6th. Roel Postma in 5th. Raimo Pedersen never gave up. They drove with heart and determination, ultimately securing a well-deserved second-place finish.
Intense race, but Raimo Pedersen held their nerve and earned a great second place.
That was an outstanding performance from Smells Like We. They fought hard and took the final spot on the podium. 4th sees Eddie G.